morning, beautiful people. I'm Alex and this is Gingerhead & Co, my sewing vlog. This video is part of Show Us Your Stash 2020, organised by Dani from Pocket Auto and Sian from Kittenish Behaviour. My stash is quite big and I had a problem picking the fabric to answer the questions. There are some questions that I'm going to try and answer. So let's go straight on. The first question is, what's your favourite fabric? And I had a huge problem with that because all my fabric is my favourite fabric. It's almost like choosing your favourite child. You can't really do that. But I decided to limit my choices. You need some explanation because it's all not really going to make a lot of sense if I don't explain fast. My stash is big because I inherited my mom's stash. So I decided not to use my mom's stash for this video because that would be the longest video in history. I am only going to use the fabric that I bought, and I started sewing 3 years ago, just over 3 years ago. So there are some questions that are going to be tricky for me to answer, but this is the only way to make it manageable. And my favorite fabric in general is French terry. As difficult as it was to choose my favorite fabric, it was easy to choose the fabric type because I love French terry. So all the fabric that I'm going to show you now is French terry. So I've got a few favorites. You have seen this one, and I've got it on other fabric as well, not just French terry, but this one is French terry and I love it. And I don't really know what to make out of it. I wanted to make a hoodie and it's probably going to be a hoodie. This French terry is from Metre et Centimetre. I don't always remember where I got my fabric from, so all the shops are going to be put in the description box below, but sometimes I just don't remember, or I'm not sure, so sorry about that. But this one is one of my favorites, and I've got this in waterproof polyester as well, so I'm going to make my Eden coat out of the same print. I've got it in jersey and I've got it in French terry because I love this print. It's some sort of galaxy, but I do love it. I love the color. I love everything about the softness of the fabric and everything about this fabric. As much as I say this is my favorite, it's one of the favorites. The other favorite is the leopards. You might have seen this one. You might have seen some of the fabric because sometimes I share it in my fabric hauls. But that was brought to me by my sister at Christmas. And then that was one of the older fabrics. It's French terry. All of that is French terry. My favorites are all French terry. And that's the waves. And I want to make a little jacket top of some sort. I've got quite a lot of that, so that's going to be enough for more than just a jacket or just a hoodie or just a top. And another favorite, this is the longest question, another favorite is this one. And you might notice that I picked fabric that are sort of bluish, greenish, emerald, because that's like my favorite colors, and sea creatures because I like sea creatures. I was born at the seaside and I like various sea creatures. And this one, is it upside down? No. And this one I do like because of the color and because the sea creatures are not just sea creatures, but there are some flamingos or something that are wearing some sort of head thingy, head bubble. They have a bubble. But I like the abstract nature of the print. It's almost like the designer was on some sort of drugs or something. But then I've got this one, and this one, well, I got it for a t-shirt for her chubby, and I like it so much that the t-shirt is still not made because I'm kind of trying to think whether I want something out of it. Jellyfish, it's, again, I like the fact that it's various colors, various blues and navy blue and grey, and it looks really nice in real life. So that was a few of my favorite fabrics. Second question was the oldest fabric. So what's my oldest fabric? I don't really have fabric in my stash for very long. If I buy something, I tend to make it into a garment quite quickly, within a few months. But I found something that I believe is at least one of my oldest fabric, and that's French terry. Shocking. That is French terry with Kashebian print. It's one of the variations of Kashebian print, and I bought pretty much all of them, all of the prints. The adjective Kaszebian is from the Polish word Kaszubę, which is part of Poland now. I was born next to, near Kaszubę. It's just a folk print. This one is not traditional folk print, it's just based on it, but I still love it. And I love the vivid colors, but because I had so many options, so many variations of this print. This one was bought at least 2 years ago, and it's still in my stash, which should be changed. But I just have a lot of fabric, so I can't make all my fabric into garments immediately. And also, this one, I forgot that I had it. I found it when I was looking for the fabric for the video. I found this one, and it's with chameleon and cacti, and it's French terry as well, with a bit of stretch. All the French terry is cotton based, so 90-something% cotton, usually 95-96% cotton. The rest is spandex. So this is also one of the oldest, probably bought 2.5 years ago, and it's still in my stash. So I only have 2 oldest fabrics, although I have my mom's fabric that is very old sometimes. And then the third question was fabric that I'm scared to cut into. And I don't have fabric that I'm scared to cut into, not really. But very often when I get fabric from somebody else, so when I'm gifted fabric from people I love, I am very careful about it. So it's not that I'm scared to cut into it, I just don't want to destroy it, I want to do it justice, and usually this fabric spends longer in my stash as well. So I'm going to connect this question with another question: what's your precious fabric? And fabric that I get from other people is my precious fabric, because I don't get attached to objects. All the fabric that I have, I could easily give away if it was worth giving away. If something happened, I don't know. Maybe it's my background, maybe it's the fact that I was born in communist Poland, and I'm used to knowing that people can lose everything without any reason in one day. There are stories in my family about nationalizing big estates, and my father's family was a victim of that. So during the new rule of communism, everything was taken away from people and people were resettled. So my father's family was resettled. And when you are told stories like that as a child, you don't take things for granted, but also you don't really get attached to material things. So I call my fabric precious fabric because in a way it is precious. It invokes some sort of emotions, but the fabric that I get from other people is my precious fabric, and most fabric is from Sue, from Hedgehog's mum, so my mother-in-law. Well, she's a quilter, she's got beautiful fabric, and she knows that I like William Morris, so there are fabrics that are very often in this style, so they're all gifts from her, and I'm very careful planning what to make. I don't really know. I mean, I was trying various patterns to prepare myself to make them in this fabric, and I love the prints. They all have a theme and they are very much my colors. Yeah, I got quite a few pieces from her. They're not big pieces, so they are going to be separate, but I'm going to make clothes out of them because I wear clothes, and I think the fabric is not going to be wasted when it's made into clothes. So they're all sort of, again, blues and violets, and I love it. And one that is Liberty that I got from Hedgehog and still haven't made into something. I was going to make a dress out of it, but I haven't yet, and I love it. And as always, Liberty always looks better in real life than when I show it to you. This is cotton lawn, so I was thinking about a shirt dress, and I'm still thinking about a shirt dress, but I haven't found the perfect shirt dress. I've got 2 shirt dresses made out of Liberty. We'll see, but it will probably be a sort of dress or something. I don't wear shirts at all, so it's not going to be a shirt unless it's a shirt for Hedgehog, but that would be a bit too much. If he gave the fabric to me, it's for me. Then the next question was fabric that I have no clue what to do with. And again, I'm going to start with French terry because I love this fabric. This is Everlicken design, and I don't know what to do with it because this is really not my color. And I wanted to make a top out of it. I'm a big lover of mushrooms. Mushrooms mean a lot to me for various reasons that are not connected with sewing. And I love them, they're chanterelles. But it doesn't really go with my face, but I'm not going to part with this fabric. I even thought about making a t-shirt or a top for Hedgehog. out of this fabric. But I like this fabric, it doesn't like me, so I'm still thinking. And I bought it quite some time ago, probably, well, a year or so ago. So again, it spent some time in my stash. But I don't know what to do with it, because I don't want anything for the bottom, I want something for the top. But probably it will have to be color matched with, color blocked with something else. And this one is also French terry. And I love it. And I've got a soft spot for fabric that is super vivid. French terry, yeah? But I don't know what to do with it, because I wouldn't be able to wear it to work. So it's probably going to be some sort of top that I can wear to the gym. But it is a bit over the top. I don't know how vivid the colors are on your screen, but they are vivid. They are like properly vivid. And also, I'll show you something more. I just wanted to prove a point because I like vivid colors. So I've got two scuba fabric. They're huge, so I'm not going to show you loads. But that's all baby scuba from the textile center. But I had to buy them without having the slightest clue what to make out of them, just because I like vivid colors, and they are definitely, you will definitely spot me. So yeah, that's me. If I see something terribly colorful, I will buy it and then I'll think about it. Then the next question is a fabric with a story, and I've had a lot of fabric with stories behind the fabric, but I tend to use my fabric, make it into a garment quickly. So I had to break my rule, and this is one fabric from my mom's stash. So the stash that I inherited. This is just cotton twill, and it's not the most exciting fabric. But this fabric is very old, and my mum made a skirt for me, and I remember this skirt, and I can't find it in any photos, so I can't show it to you. But I had a skirt made out of this, and I want to make the same skirt that my mum made me 30 years ago, because I loved my mom's skirt, and she had spent a lot of time making this skirt because I wanted adjustments. I wanted the skirt to be perfect as I imagined that, without realizing that this is hard work. I'm sure I said thank you to my mom for making my skirt, but I don't think it was enough. 30 years later, I appreciate how much my mom was doing for me. Then the next question is, where do you keep your stash? I keep my stash in plenty of places. I'm going to put some photos because I don't want to show it to you now because all the fabric is around me. I've got the IKEA shelving unit that was meant to contain the fabric that I'm going to use pretty quickly, and still, yeah, I use it for that purpose. But most of my stash is in various boxes in various parts of the house, mainly because my stash is too big and I do need to reduce my stash. Then the next question is my dream fabric. I don't have a dream fabric, and I thought about it for so long, and I don't really have a dream fabric. I think if William Morris or William Morris prints are ever made on French terry, I am going to buy it. So this is probably my dream fabric. I do have a very soft spot for various wools and coating fabric, and that sometimes is extortionate. It's very, very expensive. But if I ever fall in love with something, I will buy it. I will wait and I will buy it. I will not buy anything else, but I will buy the fabric that I fall in love with. So that's the nature of my relationship with fabric. And then the last question was, the last question was fabric of my choice to share. And I've got a pile of my almost favorite fabric. So I decided to share the almost favorite fabric as the fabric of my choice to share. But it's going to be more pieces than one. So again, it's French terry, and that French terry is unusual because it's not typical French terry print. So it's a meadow, and I like it on other people. I'm not sure if I'm going to like it on me, but I loved it. And it's soft and it's super cozy. And it's lovely and it's very flowery. It's got carnations. Some of the flowers are carnations, and carnations are my favorite flowers. Then another flowery one, like a jungle. This is also French terry. I think I keep it for something like a mad moment when I want a tracksuit that looks like a jungle. Because why not? And then I've got some sloth fabric. I've got a lot of sloth fabric and panda fabric. It's French terry. All of that is French terry. Baz fabric. And I had this fabric in 3 colorways, but this is the only one left. This is pinkish, but I've got a lot of things made out of this fabric in different colors. This is French terry as well, but I've got it on jersey as well. This is almost my favorite, but this is jersey. This is not French terry. Simply because I love the colors. And this is my favorite, and I'm going to use it soon because I love it so much. So that was the fabric that I couldn't share as my favorite because the video would be too long, but I still had to squeeze it in, so the video is going to be too long. Anyway, that was the most difficult video for me to make because most of my fabric still waits to be shown, feels underappreciated. So it wasn't fair on the other pieces of fabric. Thank you very much to Sian and to Dani for organizing it. I had a lot of fun watching other people's videos. I hope you enjoyed mine. Thank you very much for watching and see you soon. Bye!